Good evening. So today we are going to discuss about digestion in Ayurveda. Hi, namaste him. So digestion is something which we don't have any control over. If at all, in a normal thing, it happens automatically. Just like a heartbeat, you eat food, it will digest. If it's not able to digest, and if eating the wrong kinds of food, that is where the problem comes. Otherwise, by and large, it is something which automatically happens. We are not going to control anything about digestion. But if you don't eat the right kind of food, if you don't eat it on time, then your digestion will definitely get affected, and that is where we start falling sick. So most of the diseases have been attributed to poor digestion. Okay, so let's get into this thing. Okay, so these sessions happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. and so today is digestion in Ayurveda. So let's see what digestion is all about. By and large, superficially I'll try to make you understand what digestion, how Ayurveda looks at it. Okay. So digestion, Ayurveda basically says in Sanskrit, it's called paka or cooking. See, it's the same thing what happens there. Cooking happens there and cooking happens here. So when you look at what Ashtanga Hridaya says about how do we attain optimum digestion, the sense cooking happens. So as I said, if you look into the kitchen, if you have to cook rice, you take a vessel, half of the vessel is filled with rice. Okay, so if this is the size of the vessel, half is filled with rice, and of the remaining half of that means quarter of that is basically water, and the remaining is left for space. When that is done, only what I call optimum cooking happens. If you fill the whole vessel with rice, it is impossible to cook the rice. Same way Acharya has told about your stomach also. Eat only half of your stomach food, okay, and the remaining half fill that with water and leave a little bit, half of that space for air, so that digestion happens properly. Okay, so that's the same word, paka. That means cooking is the same word that has been used for digestion also. So so digestion is mostly associated with Agni, or the fire. In the Pancha Mahabhutas, you have got the Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. That Agni Mahabhuta predominance is seen in the digestion. So, and likewise, if you look at the Tridoshas, Pitta is predominant in Agni. That doesn't mean that you don't have anything else. Okay, Panchabhutatmakatvepi. That means even though it is 5, it has got all the 5. Agni has got all the 5. That means it's got Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, and Prithvi. Yet Tejasa Gunodhyat, it has got more of Agni. See, everything is made of the 5 elements, right? Even Agni is made of the 5 elements, but it has got more of Tejas or Agni Mahabhuta. Okay, so digestion and Tridoshas. Mostly people feel that Agni is all about Pitta. No, it has got the Samana Vayu, it has got the Pachaka Pitta, and it has got the Kledaka Kapha. All the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, all the 3 are there in the Agni. So for you to understand it better, see, Samana Vayu, see, you eat food. Okay, the food which is put inside the tummy, it has to get digested, right? So if it has to get digested, there has to be something which is holding it. And that holding of the food in the stomach is done by Vata. Okay, so that is what Samana Vayu does. Annam Grihnadi. It holds the food. And then what does Pachaka Pitta do? Pachaka Pitta cooks. What does Pachaka Pitta cook? The food that comes on, and the food is actually mixed with juice and it becomes kleda. Kleda means it becomes gooey gooey. Okay, and that kleda is basically brought into the food by kledaka kapha. So kledaka kapha is being held by samana vayu, and that is being cooked by pachaka pitta. So if any one of this is missing, then you will have a problem with digestion. So digestion is basically Tridoshic. It is Samana Vayu, Pachaka Pitta, and Kledaka Kapha working together. Okay. Now, as per Prakriti, you have got Vata Prakriti, Pitta Prakriti, Kapha Prakriti people you have got. Okay. So Pitta Prakriti person, when you look at him, his digestion happens faster as his appetite is much higher, because he is also Agni dominant. He's more of fiery, so he will get hungry fast, and whatever he eats also he will be able to digest faster. A Kapha person's digestion is always slower when compared to a Pitta person. Okay, his appetite is also not very high. He can actually not eat for longer time, but a Pitta person cannot. If it is time for him to eat, he has to eat, otherwise he'll eat the other person's brain, So it's very, a Pitta person cannot wait. A Kapha person can wait. A Vata person is extremely unpredictable, his digestion. Sometimes he digests food and sometimes he doesn't digest. Appetite also is same. Sometimes he is not able to handle hunger, and sometimes, so it's all, Vata is something which is always unpredictable. Likewise, digestion also is, sometimes he eats a lot of food, he'll easily digest, and sometimes he eats only little, but he'll not able to digest. So that is Vata Prakriti. So digestion differs from Prakriti to Prakriti. Okay. Now, when your digestion is good, what happens? Life exists on good Agni. Like last week, we had discussed about the three upastambhas of life, the three pillars of life. Out of that, food is one thing which is the most important thing for every being, living being. It could be plant, animal, human, everybody. Food is very important, and that food has to be properly digested. For that, Agni is very important. Tushti. Tushti is basically being tush or santush, it's basically being happy. So the moment you eat food, good food, you are not only your body, your mind, your soul, everything is so happy the moment you eat food. Okay, and if you're digesting properly, you are extremely happy. What about, and then bala, strength. Good digestion, it can give you a lot of strength. Chirayu, long life. If a person is not somebody who's eating food on time, who's eating very little food, what happens to him is his life, he can probably have a shorter life when compared to a person who's disciplined in eating food on time. Okay, rasayana. All the dhatus, all the tissues, rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, asthi, majja, shukra, all the 7 are properly maintained and nourished because of Agni or digestion. And we have got 7 dhatus and we have got 7 dhatu agnis. That means there has to have a digestion. So from rasa you get rakta, from rakta you get mamsa, from mamsa medas. So there is digestion happening in between. So if this digestion is not proper, you will not have proper tissues in the body. Okay. Then pushti. Pushti is basically strength and the full body nourishment. That full body nourishment is basically done by the Bhuta Agni. We are made of Pancha Mahabhutas, and the food we eat is also made of Pancha Bhutas. So to actually nourish the Pancha Mahabhuta of this food, of this body, this external Pancha Mahabhuta has to be converted into the Pancha Mahabhuta of the body. Okay, that is being done by the Bhuta Agni. So whatever Mahabhuta the body needs, that specific Bhuta will act on the food and get it for the body. That is Bhuta Agni. So there also digestion happens. So digestion also happens every part of the body. When you say tissues, every part of the body, as the cellular level. Digestion happens in every cell. You've got something called mitochondria, right? The powerhouse of the body. If that is not there, you're gone. So your life exists on metabolism, on good digestion. Okay. So you can slowly start asking questions. I see questions. Okay, no problem. Okay. So digestion and treatment. How do we do treatment with digestion? Kayasya antaragne chikitsa kaya chikitsa. Treatment is basically for the Agni. If you know how to, even if you are not sick, if you know how to keep your digestion or Agni intact, you will be without disease. Knowing what time to get up, knowing when to sleep, how much to sleep, when to take a bath, when not to take a bath, when to eat a food, when not to eat, all those things, everything is actually revolving around your digestion. Okay, exercise also, everything. So we give a lot of priority to Agni and the digestion. Removal of ama is the primary approach. In the sense, what we do is we give, when a person comes for treatment, there might be a lot of toxins in the system. So removal of that toxins, for that we have to actually burn it first, to remove it. So that burning or digesting of that toxins is being done by good metabolism, by your digestion. So digestion is very important there. Then once the disease, once the toxins are all removed, it can be removed by all the panchakarma therapies and all. Then we do the shamana, the pacification. That is also dependent on your digestion. Whatever medicines or things you do for shamana, if your digestion is not good, it doesn't work at all. And at the last, when you discharge a person and send him back home, you give the rasayana therapy. It's called apunarbhava. Punarbhava means relapse. Apunarbhava means it doesn't relapse. So if actually after the cleansing is done, okay, the little bit of doshas, whichever is remaining, you pacify it. And after pacification, if you don't focus on the rasayana therapy and strengthening all the dhatus, there is always a chance for the disease to relapse. For the disease not to relapse, you have to definitely do the rasayana therapy. And rasayana also depends upon good metabolism or good digestion. Okay. Now slowly let me start taking the questions. What are the main reasons for acidity and the solution for acidity? Okay, burning acidity is, acid is basically fire, acidity is high pitta. Okay, major two reasons for having acidity. One, okay, is overeating, and two is eating. So that is atyashanam, and second one is adhyashanam, that is consuming food before the previously digested food has not been digested. Okay, so you have consumed food in the morning, before it gets digested, you eat again at 10 o'clock, before that gets digested, eating again at 11 o'clock, before that is digested. That is one thing which will actually create a lot of issues in your tummy. And then also consuming spicy food, alcohol, and not sleeping at night, all those things will lead to acidity. So the one best solution for acidity depends upon to which side. If you got too much of heartburn and all those things, always good for you to remove the whole thing. I think vomiting will actually help you, but by and large, loose motion, giving medicines for the person to pass motions also helps you, because it is the vayu that is bringing the Agni up. So the moment you get the vayu going down, which is its normal course, then a lot of issues as far as acidity will get resolved. Okay. Namaste, Shetty. See, Vata, Pitta, Kapha body type is actually a very, 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 very detailed discussion. But by and large, if you look at a person, it is not only the physical structure that actually determines whether he's Vata, Pitta, or Kapha Prakriti. It also depends upon his mental makeup. Okay, so Vata person might be somebody who's thin, okay, and who's somebody who cannot sit in one place, who's got so many thoughts. He is somebody who can talk on different topics, but he is not somebody who can go deep into a topic. I'm just trying to give you small things about a vata person. Okay. And as far as I said, digestion, unpredictable digestion, and he's somebody who can basically be constipated. Okay. Pitta person is person who's not constipated, but so the vata person passes stools which are slightly hard. Kapha person is very soft, and no, pitta person and a kapha person, his bowels are very well formed. Okay. A pitta person, he can get hungry very fast. He can eat a lot of food and he can digest. His body structure is basically athletic. Okay. And he is somebody who's very sharp. He's assertive. He's a go-getter. He can get angry also. A pitta person, he's somebody who sweats a lot. He can have a pitta person can have a lot of graying of hair and hair fall also. Okay. A kapha person is somebody who's laid back, lazy. He's probably slightly bulky. Okay. It's not that he's I'm not telling he's obese. Okay. He's somebody who's slightly on the bulkier side. Normally, he is somebody who doesn't get hungry too fast, and he can hold hunger. He sleeps. He's always sleepy. He is lazy. But one other thing is that if you look at the positive side of it, he's somebody who is patient with a lot of things. Okay. So, there are a lot of ways. There are so many things which you can look into to consider whether it's a vata, pitta, or kapha body parts. And you don't have exclusive vata, exclusive pitta, exclusive kapha. No, it's always a combination. So whatever dominates, he'll have more of those characteristics. Shetty. Okay. So Agni is basically a part of our existence. Okay, as we said, we are basically Pancha Mahabhuta. We have got Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, and Prithvi, right? That Agni is what is basically the metabolic part of it. And if that Agni is gone, that means you are dead. Okay, so it comes when at the point of conception. Okay, Shukrartavaste Janmado. When the Shukra and Artava, that means the sperm and the ovum, when the conception happens, at that time, you have got Agni in the body. Okay. And where is the Agni? Okay. Pittam Panjatmagan Tatra Pakwa Amashaya Madhyagam. It is considered to be between, the part of the stomach and the intestine. So that is where most of the Agni is. Okay, the physical presence. But it can move to different parts. The digestive Agni is there. But as I said, every cell has got its own Agni Balisri. Role of liver in digestion. If you look at from the modern aspect of it, it is the organ which works 24 hours non-stop. Okay. When you are asleep, the brain actually slows down, or it takes a break. The heart, in between beat, it takes a break. But a liver is something which cannot take a break at all. That's the reason why it's got the name liver. You are living because you have got a liver. Okay, and all the blood. See, you say heart pumps the blood, it gets oxygenated from the lungs, but all those blood actually goes through the liver also. Okay, that's why in Ayurveda we say, okay, the Raktavaha Srotas, the channels of the blood flow, the main moola or the root is liver. That much of importance has been given to liver. And when you look at blood is pitta, and pitta is again fire. So liver is directly related to digestion. Anything goes wrong, liver is the one that will get immediately affected. So you can say, the bile juice, all those things are, yes, a part of the liver, but apart from that, the major metabolism load is taken up by the liver. See, there are other things like spleen. Spleen, we call that the spleen as a graveyard of the blood cells. All the blood cells, when it gets slightly old, it is being destroyed by the spleen. But in case you get injured and your spleen gets injured, and there's a situation where you have to remove your spleen. Okay, then what will happen to these blood cells? Poor liver takes over. Then liver takes the work of the spleen also. So anything goes wrong somewhere, liver is the first person who will jump into and take up. That's the reason why anywhere you've got a problem, liver is the one that gets affected first. And luckily, liver is something which can also regenerate. Okay. Ramesh, yes, scrotum itching, in my opinion, the major, see if you have got some skin issues there. That could be the major reason why people get scrotum itching. It is one part where people can get eczema, can get psoriasis also, and they can also get fungal infections. If you are somebody who is always sitting and working, or you are somebody who is always out in the sun, a farmer who sweats a lot, it's always good for you to at least wash that area multiple times, and you have to change your undergarment at least twice or thrice a day. Okay, so depending upon what issue it is, we can definitely treat it. Ramesh, not at all a problem. Okay. What can Vata person do to balance his doshas? Okay, so a Vata person, when you say the Prakriti of a Prakriti of a person is predominantly Vata, that means, okay, Dhanya, he is in a balanced state. Okay, it is not that a Vata Prakriti person is inferior, a Pitta person is superior, or a Kapha person. No, every Prakriti person is actually healthy. Understanding that this is your Prakriti and not doing anything that will actually tilt that balance is actually smartness. Okay, no two people are the same. Okay, so if somebody is Vata Prakriti person, we should understand that as the first stage of the life is Kapha. So normally children get a lot of cold, cough, fever, and all those things in their childhood. For a Vata Prakriti person, that might be slightly on the lesser side. Okay, for a Kapha Prakriti person, it will be more, because the age is Kapha age and the Prakriti also is Kapha Prakriti, so it will be more. Middle area, it doesn't matter too much, but after about 50 or so, you enter into the Vata age. And if you are a Vata, predominantly Vata Prakriti person, and you enter into the Vata age, you are going to have too much of problems. Hope you're able to understand that. So understanding what your Prakriti and then living a life in accordance to keeping your Prakriti intact, because that is where your strength is. A Vata Prakriti person is slightly on the slimmer side. And if a Vata Prakriti person, one looks at somebody else and says, no, I want to put a lot of weight, and he does a lot of things to put a lot of weight, what is going to happen to him is he is going to be unhealthy. A Kapha person who's slightly stout, we don't want him to lose a lot of weight and become skinny. He is deviating from his Prakriti. That will also not help him. To understanding what your Prakriti and then working along that is very important. Okay, so Vata person in the sense, so basically you should know that he should not do too much of exercise. He should not have too much of dry foods. Okay, he's not somebody who can wake up at night. He can probably, after a certain age, he can sleep in the afternoons. Okay, and he should basically indulge in everything that keeps his body warm, application of oil, all those things, predominantly milk products, ghee, sweets, if it's not diabetic, and all those things can be consumed by a Vata person to keep his Vata in balance. Yes, Ramesh, you can actually try using neem oil. Okay, or if it is fungal infection, I can type something for you. Okay, I'm typing it. Jivantyati Yamakam is something which I've typed and sent it to you. It is something which you can apply and see. It will take care of most fungal infections. But as I said, it is good to keep that area clean. Okay, in the sense, if you are somebody who actually goes out in the sun, and as a farmer you do a lot of work in the fields, so you sweat a lot. I would say it's good to see that you keep that area cleaner. Okay. So, any other questions? So, I personally feel that digestion is something which you have to take care, and there are lots of foods, and every action which you see. Sometimes we say that food is hot, that food is cold, that food is heavy, that food is light. So everything is basically determined post digestion. The sense when we say curd is heavy, okay, and probably milk is not that heavy, but if you drink 1 liter of milk, that makes it very heavy. That means leghu ahara, if consumed in large quantities, become guru. And the guru ahara, if you take just okay for taste, you take only 1 teaspoon of yogurt or curd and have, that is not going to actually be very heavy. So guru and heavy, yes. So you have to understand everything post digestion. Something which is hot, just like how do I put it? Amla rasa. Amla rasa is sour taste. So Acharya is told very clearly, sour taste is, anything that is sour is cold to touch. Lime juice is basically feels Shita sparsha, cold to touch. Ushna virya, once it goes inside, it generates a lot of heat. So understanding that is very important. So each and every dravya, therefore, very clearly how it is, So, so that's the reason why digestion is very important. After digestion, what action it gives is very important. That's why digestion is important. Okay, so any other question? Last week I saw a question, from somebody who probably after I finished the class, the question came up. It was about oil, can I apply oil at night? And sleep was a question which was asked by Shilpa Balakrishnan. Okay, so I told her that I'll answer it this week. I don't think she's there. Okay, so in normal situations, you look at any application of any oil on the body cools the system down, and irrespective of whether it is summer, winter, rainy season, okay, the nights are cooler than the day. If you take a whole summer day, the day is hotter, the night is slightly good. It might be still hot, but it is cooler than the day, right? So normally we say, if a person is somebody who uses oil regularly, it is not advisable to use the oil at night and leave it overnight. Okay, it can be too much, and it can actually lead, because nights are cooler, okay, and kapha goes up a little bit, and if you have put that oil on your head, the congestion, there's always a chance that congestion can go up, and you'll feel, you get probably a little bit of running nose or sneezing and all those things. So in my opinion, and if you look at most of the acharyas, you'll see that getting up in the morning, applying oil and leaving it for about 45 minutes, normally a muhurta, roughly about 45 minutes, is more than enough for you before you take a wash. So I would say, as much as possible, avoid applying oil at night and going to bed. Okay. So, no other questions? I can't see any other questions. So, shall we come to the end of the session if there are no questions? Okay then. Okay. Good night. Good night. See you next week.